Shalom, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rukakudash, and double honors to the Apostle of James, and to the bishops, the elders, and all the sincere brethren that labor in the truth like of the world, and to all the sincere brethren and sisters that listen to the truth. And I pray this may be another edifying lesson to the flocks, and whatever the Most High want to read this message, let it be heard. And before I begin the lesson, I will introduce the true name of the Father, which is Yahweh, and the names mean He exists. And the true name of the Son is Yahushua HaMashiach, which means the Redeemer or the Deliverer. And He's only coming to redeem His people, which is the nation of Israel. And in today's age, you would identify them as the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and the so-called Native Americans, which scattered on all four corners of the world. It looks like they're the nations, and also practice the custom of the other nations. And with that, that would be it for the introduction of the lesson. So today's title is basically, is those wicked Israelites are here again. So basically the same wicked Israelites that was in Yahushua times are basically back here again. So it's going to be based off the Black History Month, specifically at the White House. So I spent the last 5 minutes to watch the clip of the I'm trying to find a clip of the black lady that was supporting Trump, and various so-called black leaders that's giving speech about Trump. Oh, he's a great man. He has done so much. He's the greatest president of all time in the history of America. He's basically the best leader the world could ask for. You know, they giving all blah blah blah. They so-called speech, and they really look forward to him, and wishes he stayed there forever. And the first, I know various brothers made that clip. When I first saw the clip, I'm like, okay, that's the coolest clips I've heard of all time. Then when I didn't really, it didn't really resonate with me until last night. I was like, wait a minute, this is so-called Black History Month. That's why they're doing all that speech, because he went at the White House. He set up with the Black History Month at the Black House. I say Black House, White House, which is nothing more than a distraction to all those things that's currently happening right now. But you know, Jake is always simple as usual. So the first thing that popped out in my head is these are the same wicked Israelite that was that we read in the book of Maccabees, basically. That we also heard during Yahushua's time as well, and basically after Yahushua's death, during the Roman persecution, during the Roman Empire, when the Romans were ruling. Those were the same exact wicked Israelites that are back again in this day and age. So let's see what the scripture said. Give me 1 second. And it's not just politicians. It goes celebrities, actors, basketball players, athletes, basically, and also regular Israelite that's walking around here every day. And perfect example is back we can use when the C-19 came about, where Esau told a lot of people, hey, if you don't take the job, you ain't going to work. You ain't traveling. And a lot of Israelites really didn't hesitate. Be like, hey man, I ain't losing my freedom. They just bow down to Esau instantly. So these are exact same Israelites that are back in the ancient world. It was mainly the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, which is the so-called Negroes. In today's age, is basically the entire nations. Well, the same wicked Jews are back again, and also it applies to the entire nation of Israel, because all Israelites are under Edomite submissions, and most of our people submit to Esau. So First Maccabee 1 and 11. First Maccabees 1 and 11. I'm gonna read 11 through 15. Yeah. So in those days when they're out of Israel, wicked men. So in those days, that was basically during the Maccabean era. Basically, that was basically before Yahushua times. However, those same Jews kept that practice well after the Yahushua's death. To be honest with you, that's why we get a lot of Israelite foreigners who forgot who never knew their custom, because some Israelite know they were Israelite. They was like, look, we ain't gonna teach our sons and daughters about Israelites. We're gonna live like the Greeks, like the heathens around us. And we can see that in today's age, when you see Israelite, you tell me Israelite, hey, don't tell me I'm Israelite. I'm black. I'm Haitians. I'm Dominicans. These are the same people these are the same thing they were doing in the ancient world. So in those days, they came out of wicked. In those days when they're out of Israel, wicked men. So in those days, there were wicked Israelites who persuade many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathens that are round about us." So basically, they go out and persuade many Israel. Israel, what does that mean? It means that they saw fellow Israelite. They was like, "Look, man, we can't be doing this anymore, man. We're catching too much hell, man. It's time we do something." So Jake's love simple. Jake does not like basically in general it's in our nature us Israelite. We love to relax. Jake doesn't like to catch hell because that's not our nature. Although we've been catching hell forever now, cause we have the Most High would bless us with tremendous endurance. However, we don't like catching hell. We like to chill. So they're like, look, man, they persuade many. So basically, they go out and persuade many fellow Israelites, basically, and let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. So he said, let's go make a covenant, make a pact, make a deal with the heathens, which is the other nations, primarily basically the Greeks, the Romans, which was Edomite basically, that are around about us, basically that live around us. Because just like basically what the ancient world basically, when I say ancient world, I'm talking about during the Roman Empire, the Greek and Roman empires. This world that we're living right now mirror exactly the ancient world. Whatever you see during the Maccabean times when the Romans were ruling is the exact same thing that's happening in today's age that we're living under the Edomites. And the difference is this kingdom we're living right now is even more wicked than during the Maccabean times. The Maccabees time, I should say. So basically, since we departed from them, we have much sorrow. Basically, they say since we leave those among those, since we depart those nations, we have much sorrow. Basically, we've been catching hell. So they get tired of catching hell, and Jake's was legit catching hell for real. So a lot of them were just simply just get tired of it. So basically, they start taking the bag. They start following the ways of the heathens. They start for this. They give up on the cat. And was like, why are we following the Most High if we're catching hell? They don't want that smoke. So those basically were 2/3 of our people. They lack patience and endurance. And we see those same jakes again today. Whenever there's something going on, it could be like they lost their jobs. Who do they go out and cry to? Esau. There's like a natural disaster happen. Who do they cry for help for? They cry to Esau to help them out. So their power is Esau. So this device pleased them well. So basically, when it was like, look, man, we're catching too much hell. Let's join the other nations and do what they do. And when they come with that idea, it pleased them well. So a lot of Israel was like, you know what? You're right. Screw that. Screw the custom that we are. We're following the law anymore, man. Let's do what the other nations are doing. But they're doing it and they're living well. Why can't we just do it also? So basically, a lot of Israelites just gave up on the custom straightforward. Thus, then certain of the people were so forward with it, which means certain Israelites, when they heard about that, they were like, okay, I'm with it. And prime example is when you watch those celebrities, man. A lot of them want to become rapper, musician, whatever they want to become, and they couldn't make it on their own, or they want to be famous so bad, man, and they do any filthy thing to get to that fame. Likewise, those same people were in the ancient world, man. They do anything to get to live a peaceful life, man. Even if they give up their soul. Then certain of the people were so forward with it therein that they went to the king. So some people were with it. So guess what? They went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathens. So basically, the king gave them a license to practice, to live just like the heathens. So whatever custom the heathens were practicing, they were doing that. So the king gave them freedom to do whatever they want. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem. So basically, they built like a gymnasium basically at Jerusalem where they can work out. according to the custom of the heathen. So basically, it was basically according to the custom of the heathens. So basically, those Israelites, they went completely buck wild. They were just living. They were Israelites that live and act and practice the custom of the heathens basically, and made themselves uncircumcised. They even go as far as to make themselves uncircumcised. It was an Israelite law for all young men to be circumcised. So guess what? They foredone that. And those of them that were uncircumcised, they even sewed back the foreskin basically, just to be like the other heathens, and forsook the holy covenant. So basically, they abandoned, they give up on the law and statute and commandment of the Mosai, and joined themselves to the heathen. So basically, they joined themselves into the heathen. So basically, they start taking part of the heathen customs, just like in today's Babylon the Great. A lot of those wicked, a lot of the wickedness that Esau was practicing, Jake's also doing them, and to the point that Jake's even do more wicked deeds than the devil himself. Jake even surpassed the wickedness of the devil, because Jake's by default we are a special people. If whenever put our mind into something, if he's righteous, we go beyond. If he's wicked, we also go beyond. And were sold to the mischief. So basically, Jake's went straight up wicked, man. Whatever wickedness the Gentiles were doing, guess what? Jake's were doing it. And the same people that we see in the first Maccabees, the book I was just reading right now, man, are back again in this day and age doing the exact same thing. So that's it. For the lesson, man. So when I saw that Black History Month, all those Jakes were beaming Trump, so he's the greatest president, blah blah blah. Oh, he should be ashamed of you if you don't support him, blah blah. Those are the same wicked niggas in the Maccabees times that are back again. And that's it for the lesson, man. I put it as another edifying lesson to the flocks. And whoever the most I want to hear this message and let it be heard. And with that, I'd like to say, Shalom.